Rise of Kingdoms is never going to be the same. Migration back to KVK Season 2 with large groups is no longer going to be possible. And crystal technology is changing. The way that you get crystals and the balance of the technology itself is going to shift. So stick around in this video for everything we learned from this really game-changing announcement that just dropped. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in this video, we have got to review this unbelievable mail that just landed. These changes are going to be going live in March. So they're not here yet, but they will be here soon. This has implications for what you will do right away, and it has huge implications for the future of Rise of Kingdoms. Let's start by going over what is in here. And what I want to say first about this message that gives me a lot of hope for Rise of Kingdoms as a game that is doing already very well, is it seems like the developers are moving in a direction where they really are listening more to player feedback than they have been in the past. So let's cover what we see here. First of all, changes to crystal acquisition. Difficulty levels for the new Season of Conquest event, Trial of Karak, or Karak, will be unlocked as progress is made in the Lost Kingdom. Governors can gain crystals, season coins, and other rewards by taking part in this event. Now, ways to get more crystals free to play is great. I want to maybe couch your expectations a little bit that, like, they're not just going to be giving away millions and millions and millions of crystals, right? I would bet that it's a moderate amount of crystals, but nothing totally insane. So if you expect something insane, I think you'll be disappointed, but more crystals and ways to get them is generally good. Discounted legendary commander sculptures and equipment material choice chests will be made available in the season shop. So I always felt like the legendary sculptures and materials were way too expensive, like way, way, way too expensive for the season coins. And it sounds like they're discounting them, which I think is definitely necessary and a good change. Number 3, governors can spend crystals to receive speed-up items in the new Season of Conquest event, Give and Receive. This also is good for players who either max out their crystal tech or when you get to the end of KVK and crystal tech doesn't matter anymore. Like, you reach a point where it's like, I can't win this KVK, or I've already won this KVK, and you might think like, hey, let me trade in my crystals for speed ups. Sounds amazing. So the ability to do that is good. I would say, again, set your expectations to be fairly reasonable, even with the ability to trade your building speed ups into trading speed ups at the start of KVK, the War and Peace event. You can only do so much of that. So we'll see exactly how good this is and exactly how many crystals you can trade around. But I do like that. You can complete challenges in the new Season of Conquest event, Crystal Quest, to increase the event level and gain crystals. So yet another way to gain crystals. I really hope the developers have heard that, like, the difference in technology is too much between a player that is paying and a player that is not. It sounds like they're really closing the gap here. Rewards have been changed. For the Season of Conquest event, Eve of the Crusade, governors can gain crystals through this event. Good. More crystals, especially at the start of KVK, is really, really good. Buffs for crystal technologies have been fine-tuned. Please take note of new effects once they come online. This is like mind-blowing, okay? So this could be amazing or it could be awful. I don't know. There's a couple things I would hope that they do. First of all, when they say the buffs for crystal technologies have been fine-tuned, but then they say, please take note of the new effects. I think what they're saying is that they are adjusting the relative strength of these buffs, but they are not actually changing their location or adding new technologies or removing technologies. Maybe they did, but I suspect that maybe they just dampened it a little bit, lowered some of the buffs a little bit, and maybe improved some things a little bit, like the amount of resource cost for healing. Maybe they improved that. I don't know. My hope would be that they reduce healing costs and slightly diminish the gap between, like, what a pay-to-win player is getting and what a free-to-play player is getting. I think that would make a lot of sense for them. And then reduce the difficulty of killing level 41 to 45 barbarian patrols, allowing governors to gain crystals more easily. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Like, I guess. I think it is definitely meta to kill lots of barbs to get crystals, but I'm just sort of shrugging this off because, like, bro, I mean, you can handle the 41 to 45 barbs, right? I think we can handle that. The only players who maybe can't is people in their first season of Conquest, and then it might be fairly difficult if you're a T4 player trying to run around and you don't have a lot of research yet. That could be problematic. Remaining crystals will not be converted into gold, and by the way, I feel like the conversion rate for that was not great historically, and will instead be converted into season coins. That I think could be very, very good, because instead of getting gold, which like I can farm that, I can use my season coins to buy discounted materials and discounted gold heads. I could get into that. I could get on board. We hope that these changes will allow governors to obtain crystals more easily and have a better Season of Conquest experience. These changes will be implemented in March. Points 1 through 7 will only take effect after a new Lost Kingdom starts. Where a Lost Kingdom is already underway, the changes will not take effect. We'll send another detailed announcement before the changes are due to be implemented. So this isn't going to happen for my KVK, but future KVKs will get this. And some people may consider delaying joining KVK with their kingdom just to get these changes, because you'll see why they're making these changes in the next part. I feel like in the grand scheme of things, they could go in the direction of doing too little to improve the gap between free-to-play and pay-to-win. I think it would be impossible for them to do too much to close the gap. In other words, the more they close the gap between free-to-play and pay-to-win, the better. And so hopefully they err on that side of things rather than on the side of doing too little. You see what I mean? Hopefully that's the case, because guess what? If you wanted to avoid Season of Conquest, it is now way, way harder to do. The immigration rules are changing. This is a big deal. We have discovered that a number of governors have been using the immigration feature to return to new kingdoms during the Season of Conquest. I think we all could have told you that that was definitely a thing. Migrating back to KVK Season 2, it is so popular that I went with my restart kingdom back to KVK Season 2 over again. Because it is so popular, they wanted to avoid crystal tech, so we went and we are, avoided crystal tech by going back to KVK Season 2. And even my restart did it, right? The number of governors doing this is quite large. It's astronomical, and is having a significant effect on the ability of governors in these kingdoms to participate in Lost Kingdom events. No kidding, right? Did you watch my stream this morning where I'm running around in the ruins and I'm like 20-for-1 trading? It's gross, bro. As a result, we will be changing the immigration rules and adding limits in order to ensure that governors in the new kingdoms have a better gaming experience. This should be encouraging for everyone, even if you're disappointed about the limitations that are about to be in place for migrating back to KVK Season 2. It is a good thing that the developers are actually investing in the new player experience, because that means that they think the game is going to last for a very long time, right? Instead of milking the endgame players for, more, they are actually saying, hey, we actually want to continue to invest in a good early new game, new player experience. I think that says a lot for the developers' perspective about the future of the game. We will be redefining immigration and changing specific immigration rules. These changes are significant and large in scope. So we'll be dividing it into 3 major types. Don't worry, I will explain this. Besides using a beginner's teleport, that is a migration to another game, you can use a beginner's teleport at the start of the game. It only lasts for 10 days. You have to do it at the very, very, very start of the game. So that is not included in these 3 scenarios that we're going to talk about today. The first scenario is cross-season immigration. This is when you're going from one season type, Season of Conquest, to non-Season of Conquest, as an example. So when the current kingdom and the destination kingdom are in different seasons, one is in Season of Conquest, one is not. When the current kingdom's server age is older than the destination kingdom, aka you are in Season of Conquest and you're going back to a young kingdom, governors will be engaging in what we call cross-season immigration, okay? So that's what cross-season is, going from one season type to another. Same season immigration is when you go from the exact same season type you're in to another kingdom that's in the exact same type of season. So Season of Conquest to Season of Conquest, KVK Season 2 to KVK Season 2. That is all same season. And then there is same region immigration. Believe it or not, you are on a continent. Did you know this? You are on a continent in Rise of Kingdoms. And if I zoom way out, I don't know where I am in the grand scheme of things. The way that the map is designed is that there is a center kingdom, and then there are 8 neighboring kingdoms that are blocks all around that one center kingdom. So if I scroll up, we must be at the top end of that big block of kingdoms, because if I scroll to the right, you see I go to the next kingdom, right? And if I go all the way to the right, now I hit the edge of our region. And if I scroll down, right, I'm going around the block now, the outside of this thing. I can go down again, right? And now if I go down more, boom, I hit the bottom of the square. And then if I go to the left, I can go one more kingdom to the left. This is your region, okay? You can see your region a number of ways. Looking around like I am is one of those ways. And then I can scroll all the way back up. And theoretically, if I go to the right, is there a lost kingdom? Bingo. No lost kingdom. I thought there used to be a lost kingdom somewhere in the middle, but whatever. There's 8 kingdoms in your region. You can go in oh, wait, that was a lost kingdom. It was a lost kingdom. Somewhere in here. Yes. C11271. Okay, I was correct. So they have a lost kingdom map surrounded by 8 kingdoms. Your region. Okay? That was the region. All of that to explain region. But whatever. This is fine, Chisgule. We got this. So, there's some important changes to the way that your migration stuff works. Same region counts as that thing I was just showing you. Now, number 1, cross-season immigration, going from one season type to another. This will be subject to a quota. Kingdoms in Season 2 and 3 of Lost Kingdom will be able to receive a maximum of 30 migrating characters per season. Wow! So large groups that go back and migrate, it's not a thing. It will only be small groups now. Only 30, not even accounts, but 30 governor IDs, right? Like 30 little cities can go. So like if that's somebody's farm, that was somebody's farm, like 30 of them. That's it. So big group migrations like what we did for KVK Season 2 on my restart, it's no longer a thing. Gone. As of March. So if you're going to do that, like you better hustle and get it done, because your time window is very, very, very limited to do that again. Power limits for cross-season immigration will be determined by the king and confirmed 48 hours before immigration begins. So just like how you can set power limits in Season of Conquest Kingdom, you'll be able to do that over here as well. After immigration begins, governors who fulfill the necessary criteria may engage in the migration until the destination kingdom's quota is met. GG. That's it. No more big group migrations back to KVK Season 2 or 3. Same season immigration during KVK Seasons 2 and 3 of Lost Kingdom. Same season immigration is possible, provided that the character registering for immigration is no more than 90 days older than the opening time of the destination kingdom. What I think this is saying is that you can't go from like one kingdom that is in KVK, like the end of KVK Season 3, to another kingdom that's in the beginning of KVK Season 2. It's about to start. This also, maybe now that I'm looking at this more closely, this might also imply that you can't go from like the end of KVK Season 3 to the beginning of KVK Season 3? Maybe you can. Maybe you can. I don't know. I find this a little confusing. During the Season of Conquest, there's no limits on characters that are doing same season immigration. Of course, it doesn't matter. If you're in the Season of Conquest, you're in the Season of Conquest, right? So that doesn't matter. But whatever kingdom you're in for same season immigration in KVK Season 2 or 3, you can't go back more than 90 days. That much is very clear. No more than so less than 90 days is as far back as you can go for migrating backwards. So I think maybe what they're trying to prevent here is going from the end of KVK Season 3 to the start of KVK Season 2. Maybe that's the play. And the immigration start time. Same season immigration and cross-season immigration may begin once the destination kingdom enters the preparation phase for Lost Kingdom Season 2. Cross-season immigration ends once the destination kingdom enters the preparation phase for Lost Kingdom, so when KVK is on its way to starting. And after Season 1 of Lost Kingdom has begun, all subsequent immigration will begin one day after the Lost Kingdom ends. So after Season 1, it's like a day after the KVK ends, and then boom, migration begins. Immigration from Rising Kingdoms and Imperium Kingdoms has some fixed power limits. For Rising Kingdoms, the power limit is 10 million, so you can't move around if you're high power to another high power kingdom. For Imperium Kingdoms, the power limit is 15 million for Lost Kingdom Season 2, 25 million for Lost Kingdom Season 3, and 35 million for Lost Kingdom, Season of Conquest. So all of that to say is they're really putting limits on how strong a kingdom can get by virtue of migrating more people in. And kingdoms can accept governors with power that meets or exceeds the current entrance requirements via special immigration. Special immigration, however, will not count toward a kingdom's cross-season immigration quota. So special immigrations, you get 1 per month for your kingdom, and you can ignore Imperium requirements and so on to bring that player in. Sounds like probably the same as it has always been, right? That looks about the same. We have added an immigration scheduling feature. Governors can select a kingdom that is in the middle of Lost Kingdom and be notified when immigration is possible. I mean, I don't know that was necessary. Like, you're either in touch with the kingdom you're going to or you're not. And these changes will not affect the use of the beginner's teleport, which we talked about earlier, only relevant for the first 10 days of gameplay. These changes will come online mid-March. You'll receive an official detailed notice before that comes into effect. And as an incentive for governors considering immigration to immigrate in good time, we'll send a New World bundle to all governors who migrate before the changes take place. This does not conflict with the original bundle. Are they giving you the ability to buy another bundle, or are they giving you a bunch of passports? Now that I reread it, it sounds like they're giving you the ability to buy another bundle. I'm not entirely sure. They have in the past sent a large volume of passports to people when they changed the rules for KVK Season 2 and 3 to limit the number of commanders and to limit the equipment that you could use. They gave all those people, I think, a full migration worth of passports, which is kind of nuts. So maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe. But as an incentive for governors considering immigration to immigrate in good time, how do they know that we're considering immigration? How do I get these passports? Not that I think I need them, but whatever. These are all changes that will be made regarding Lost Kingdoms gameplay. These are significant changes, and we'll be posting detailed diagrams and explanations about them on our socials and answering any questions you might have. We're also looking forward to hearing your opinions and suggestions on socials. Thank you for supporting Rise of Kingdoms. Unlike other messages that have a feedback section where you can tap a link to provide feedback, they don't have that here, which I think is interesting. So they're basically saying, hit us up on social media for your feedback as well. I think these changes are very good. Very, very needed and very good. Actually, it's very promising. I feel like it took a while, but it feels like the developers are really listening to the things that we're saying. The meta is to migrate back to KVK Season 2 for most people to avoid Season of Conquest technology. So they have eliminated the ability to do that, but also made it so that maybe you don't feel like you need to anymore, which will be the most important piece of the puzzle. And if they don't get that piece of the puzzle right, then there's going to be a lot of upset players. And man, I mean, rightfully so, because the way that they enjoyed the game will then have been taken away from them. But if what they're doing is actually making Season of Conquest fun for everybody, then I think that's a different story entirely. Because in that case, like, the end game is very fun. It's very, very fun. Except, I obviously, like, I like the commander depth. I like the equipment. I like there's like cool stuff you can do. But I would agree that the Crystal Tech can be really savage. And dude, the original flavor of Crystal Tech was disgusting. Like, the things that I did with before they even nerfed Crystal Tech, it was just wrong, man. So hopefully this is a significant closing of the gap between free to play and pay to win. And, you know, there's a bunch of people who have quit the game because of Crystal technology. And I wonder if they did a good enough job with this, would they consider coming back? I don't know. Maybe people just feel burned out. But if this gap was closed, I feel like a lot less people would quit and a lot more people would feel like they don't need to migrate. 2 big wins. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. This is just an absolutely massive and game-changing announcement. Truly, truly monumental in terms of the direction of the game. And I hope that we get what we want and what we need here. But if you want to see exactly how it pans out, subscribe to the channel. I will be entering Season of Conquest, and you can see me wail out on the current version of Crystal Tech one last time before hopefully that gap is significantly narrowed. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies, and I'll see you in some live streams real soon for KVK.